CM Punk is the real world champion. Not for Tony Khan though, for Elon Musk. Nice win here for FTR. I would have kind of liked for this match to be spread out by another week just because FTR already did defend the belts the week before against Paige and... Wait, did I say Paige? The week before against Cole and MJF, and 2 weeks before that against Bullet Club Gold. But again, I understand you only have 3 weeks to build up to that FTR Young Bucks match. You want to get to that ASAP. I don't really mind. Just a small little complaint. I like the Diamante heel turn, especially because it was set up on Ring of Honor TV. But that is the one kind of complaint I would have, is that it was set up on Ring of Honor TV. This is AEW. I understand that the 2 shows are taped on the same night. And I don't really mind them sharing a talent roster, even though they're 2 different companies, just because they are under the same owner. And the AEW roster can be pretty bloated, and the Ring of Honor one can be pretty non-existent, admittedly. But the reason I have a slight issue with this is because I don't think everybody who watches AEW every week watches Ring of Honor, especially considering that Ring of Honor is behind a $10 a month paywall. It's a small little complaint, but I will give them credit. They did set it up, and they did follow through with it. Alright, Samoan Joe comes in and kills a man in 10 seconds. You love to see it. You set up the Punk versus Joe match for All In. You can't really find much reason to complain about it. Trios match was fun. I loved the way that Brody King was just booked to be the tank of the team and to just take all this punishment. The House Rules is a nice little way to explain away why 3 random people can just form a team and challenge for the belts. I did also like the babyfaces using the stipulation that they gotta choose to eject the manager from ringside. That's the logical thing to do. When it comes to next week and the Punk and FTR versus the House of Black for the Trios titles, I do feel like maybe that's something that could have been saved for later on, but I'm hoping that there's just a preview of things to come and that this is just going to be used as a way to have a great match while also setting up for Joe versus Punk at All In. Or maybe even the Bucks get involved, and maybe it's to add more heat to the FTR versus Bucks feud. Or who knows? Maybe it could even be something else. Probably not. A nice win for Jay White. I understand why he's not on the world title program immediately. You might want to hold off on that a little bit. But it's nice that in the meantime, whether it's sometime in the near future or later on, in the meantime, until you have something for him, you're giving him these consistent wins on TV, you're keeping him strong, and you're having him as the leader of a faction. You're basically indicating to the audience, hey, this is an important guy, he's going to play into things later on, keep your eyes on him. The Christian Cage segment is so great. I honestly recommend that if you haven't seen it yet, go seek it out for yourself. I think it goes to show why Christian is one of the greatest and most underrated heels in the history of wrestling. The guy gets it. Like, his character has like little to no redeeming qualities. Beat his ass, Hobbs. I really like the juxtaposition Toni Storm shows here. Last year when she lost the belt as a babyface, she cut this determined promo on doing anything that she can to get the belt back, and then she did. This time around as a heel, she's much more unhinged after losing the belt. And yeah, that can be seen as like haha kind of funny, and it is, but I think it goes to show how important that championship was to her, and thus that gives importance to the belt. It feels like a natural progression of where this character has gone in its journey the last year, and I'm looking forward to what's coming up next for her. Punk vs. Starks was a fun match. The ending makes me think that there's more to come, especially considering the score between the 2 of them is 1-1. I'm thinking maybe a match between the 2 of them at All Out for the championship. Not a bad spot for Ricky Starks to be in. Possibly main eventing a pay-per-view in Chicago against CM Punk for a belt. I really do hope though that Ricky Starks can find himself on the All In card because he is a homegrown AEW talent. I feel like you want to showcase those kinds of talents at a show like at Wembley Stadium, considering that this is the biggest audience AEW has ever performed in front of. One of the biggest audiences in wrestling history. I do feel like it'd be a little bit of a shame if Ricky Starks isn't on that card, and I understand that considering where storylines are, it might be a little bit hard to place him somewhere, but still, not a bad spot for Ricky Starks to be in if he is going to be main eventing, or possibly main eventing, a pay-per-view like All Out against CM Punk for a championship.